Good morning, afternoon, or evening. My name is Shannon, and today we are going to be going over all of the books I read in January. Now, when January first started out, I had pretty low expectations for the amount of books I was going to read this month because I started the year off in a major book slump. But I did a video that just came out a couple days ago where I read 200 pages every day for a week, and I ended up reading 9 books in a week, and it definitely pulled me out of my book slump, and I definitely read a lot of books this month because of it. So I actually read 12 books and I listened to 2 audiobooks. So I'm just gonna get started. The first book I read this month was The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. I saw a snippet of the way that they meet in this book on TikTok and I bought it immediately. It is so good. It is about Gigi and Ryder, and Gigi is the daughter of Garrett Graham, who is the main MMC from The Deal in the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. So this is the first book in the child series to that one, and it was really, really good. It was an enemies with benefits kind of romance. I loved Ryder so much, and I rated it about 4.5. Next, I read Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I was very hesitant to starting this because it is such a large series, but I became quickly obsessed with this book. I rated it about 4.5 to 4.75 stars. This book, if you didn't already know, is about 2 best friends who enable each other and their addictions by pretending to date one another. And it's really, really good. It has an interconnected series with it, which is called the Calloway Sisters series, I think. It's so good. I loved this. I always eat up the toxic romances. Next, I read the entire Good Old Boys series, an interconnected standalone romance series of these 4 guy best friends who were kind of raised in a religious cult almost. I know that sounds really harsh, but if you read the series, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But the 4 books within that were Falling for Temptation, Seeing Devil, Seducing the Saint, and Kissing Friends. If I had to tier rate them, it would be Falling for Temptation, Kissing Friends, Seducing the Saint, and Seeing Devil. The first book, Falling for Temptation, was so good. This boy was so sweet and wholesome. I mean, they all are, but it was basically good boy, bad girl trope. It was so good. I think I rated that 4 stars, 3.5-ish. And then the second book, Seeing Double, was kind of a pen pal romance. I don't know how to adequately explain it, but it was really good. I rated that one 3 stars. And then the third one, Seducing the Saint, was a second chance romance. It was really good. I rated that 3.5 stars. And then Kissing Friends was a friends to lovers, golden retriever, black cat. I loved that one. That was 3.5, 4 stars. The entire series is really good, and all the boys are so wholesome and sweet. I love them. I don't know where I left my physical copy, but I finished up Savage Lover on Kindle Unlimited. I started that a while ago, and in my 200 pages a day reading vlog, I finished that book. I thought it was really good. I still would only rate it like 3.5, 4 stars, but it was very good. It was the 3rd book in the Brutal Birthright series. It was a mafia romance, and the MMC like really liked cars, and then the FMC was kind of immersing herself into this world because she was trying to protect her brother. I don't know how to adequately explain it, but it was really good. I would still only rate it like 3.5, 4 stars though. Then I finished Sable Peak by Devney Perry on Kindle Unlimited. That book was really good. I was worried about how they were going to approach the FMC and her trauma in that book, given how the last book, Crimson River, ended with her story. I think they really did that justice, and I did really like the romance, and I always love a single dad trope, but that was the last book in the Edens series, and I think I would still rate that like 3.5 stars. Like, it was fine. It was good, but I'm not gonna write home about it. Then I, like all other people on BookTube and Book Talk, watched My Life with the Walter Boys when it came out on Netflix, because how could I not? And I did enjoy it. It was cringy as hell, but I did enjoy it. And I decided I would like to read the book to see the differences and how they compare. And I did read it. I flipped back and forth between the audiobook and the Kindle version, because I really got into audiobooks this month and I did enjoy it. I think I would rate it 3 stars, because honestly, it, don't get me wrong, it was good. It was cringy, it was good. But what the was that ending? I'm sorry, that is how this book ends? No, you didn't complete the story. I need more. It just really, really rubbed me the wrong way that Ali Novak ended this book. It felt very incomplete. We didn't even get an epilogue. I was not happy about it, but I did enjoy the book overall, so I'd still rate it 3 stars. Next. I have never in my life rated a book so poorly as the book I'm about to talk to you guys about. I previously enjoyed one of these authors' other books, and I can confidently say I will never be reading another book written by her. I read Things I Wanted to Say But Never Did by Monica Murphy. This book is horrendous. I rated it 1.5 stars. This MMC is genuinely a bully. He basically blackmails this girl into having casual sex with him. I hated him the entire book. No part of me liked him, and the romance was not at all believable. No part of it. You can't convince me that any part of this was romance. It was all lust. 100%. It was basically just like one day he woke up and he loved her. No, no, you've been treating her horribly this entire time. You don't love her. I'm sorry, you just don't. He treated her horribly. Like, she came to Lancaster Prep, which is where the series is based, and he previously already had an issue with her because of her mother, which I'm not gonna go into that, but he got everyone at school to stop talking to her, to talk badly about her, and to basically harass and bully her. And then he stole her private journal in order to blackmail her to have sex with him. And there was one point, oh my gosh, I talked about this in my vlog because this is when I read this book, but there's one point where he walks up to her in the library at school and is like, come on, we're gonna, you know, go do the thing. And she's like, no, I'm at the library, I'm not going to have sex with you right now. And he literally comes up to her and says, you can't say no. No part of me liked this book. No part of me. And in the vlog, I literally just got to the point where I needed to know where this story was going and how the she was gonna try to redeem this character. She didn't. No. Oh my gosh. And the conflict in this story was horrendous. The only character that I had nothing bad to say about flipped like a switch and became cruel and mean, and I couldn't stand it. I was really looking forward to that character's next book in the series because I was trying to see if Monica Murphy could redeem herself to me after this book, and I was considering continuing the series to get the next romance. But after the conflict, I don't give a shit about her romance. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see her fall in love. I don't see it being anything but toxic, and I just wish I never even picked this up. Next, I was really in the mood for Lucy Score, and I actually already put this in my February TBR video, but I decided to get ahead a little bit, and I read Rock Bottom Girl by Lucy Score. I really, really enjoyed this. I think I would rate it about 4.5 stars. I love the way that Lucy Score writes romance, It is about Marley and Jake, and Marley has just moved back to her small town where people kind of know her for causing a scandal years ago, and she ends up getting a job as the high school gym teacher and soccer coach, and lo and behold, someone from her class back in high school works at the high school named Jake, and he is amazing, and something is happening where someone's trying to be mean to her, and he basically comes up and defends her and says, "We're dating. There's no way she did that because she was with me." And so it starts a fake dating thing, and he says he will teach her how to coach girls soccer and how to be a good teacher if she teaches him how to be in a relationship, because he's finally ready to settle down. And it's so, so good, and I just love the whole small town thing. But such a good book. This was my first dabble into audiobooks, really, because I have never listened to audiobooks before this month, and I decided to give them a chance because it will allow me to read while I'm doing things. And I use air quotes when I say read because obviously you're not reading words on a page, but it's still reading. I'm sorry, it is. I know that that's kind of a controversial opinion, but they count. I mean, you put in the work, you put in the time, it counts. Anyhow, I listened to both the Bromance Book Club and An Undercover Bromance by Lyssa Kay Adams. These are the first two books in the Bromance Book Club series. I really enjoyed them. My only qualm was the narrator. When he was speaking dialogue from a woman, he would use a tone of voice that sounded so fake. It honestly reminded me of the guys from White Chicks, if you've seen that movie. Like, it sounded like how they talked as women, and that's what that reminded me of. So I couldn't take it too seriously all the time, but I did really, really enjoy the story. This book was about Thea and Gavin, and Thea has just asked for a divorce, and so obviously Gavin is pretty down on his luck, but then one of his best friends comes into his room and is like, "We can help you." And he's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he's like, "Come to this meeting and we'll talk it all out." And so he goes to the meeting, and he finds out that it is a book club, just all of these guys sitting in a circle reading romance books as manuals to help their relationships and help them be better boyfriends and husbands. And I love it so much. It was so cute, and it's such a cool concept, and I honestly don't really know why this isn't a thing in real life because it's brilliant. I love the concept for this book. I rated this book 4 stars. And then this book was about Mac and Liv, and Mac is on a date at the restaurant Liv works at, and an incident happens where Liv ends up getting fired, and she wants to get back at her boss, and Mac is like, "I will help you." And so they pair up with the Bromance Book Club to create a plan to basically take this guy down because he's horrible, her boss. It's very, very good. They're both very fiery personalities, very independent, and Liv is actually Thea's sister. And so that's like the connection there. But I probably would have rated this 5 stars if I read it as a physical book. I did listen to the audiobook, so it is like a 4.5 for me, but I did really, really enjoy it. Lastly, I read Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I loved this. This was my first Ali Hazelwood book. It is about Mallory and Nolan, and Mallory has just beat Nolan at chess, which doesn't happen. He is the world's #1 ranked chess player, and she just off the bat beats him at a low chess tournament, and things kind of go on from there. She gets recruited for a chess club, and it's very, very, very good. Nolan kind of becomes fixated with her because he is the first person who has beaten him in a long time, and it's so, so good. And I absolutely adored the way that he cared for her and loved her so fiercely. I probably would have rated it 5 stars if I read it all at once, but because of my book slump, I read like 200 pages and I read the last 150 pages like 2 weeks later. But I did really enjoy the book and I would rate it like 4.5 stars. Anywho, those are the 14 books that I read this month. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. All of my social media is linked down below for you guys. Make sure you turn on the post notification bell so you guys can get notified right when I post a new video. I hope you all are having an absolutely wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!